because I can sit on a beach chair and have a conversation with AI and get articles out at scale. I can, in 2 hours, get a month worth of content and publish every single day. But that's the power of it. I don't think AI took over what I do, because the point of view, the unique way that it's articulated, and the unique message that's behind every single article comes from my brain. And even if anybody else sat down and wanted to say what I needed to say, it wouldn't come out the same way. And that's what makes content unique.
Welcome to How I AI, the podcast featuring real people, real stories, and real AI in action. Hi, I'm Brooke Gramer, your host and guide on this journey of the real-world impact of artificial intelligence. For over 15 years, I've worked in creative marketing, events, and business strategy, wearing all the hats. I know the struggle of trying to scale and manage all things without burning out. But here's the game changer, AI. This isn't just a podcast. How I AI is a community, a space where curious minds like you come together, share ideas, and I'll also bring you exclusive discounts and insider resources, because AI isn't just a trend, it's a shift. And the sooner we embrace it, the more freedom, creativity, and opportunities we'll unlock. Have you just started exploring AI and feel a bit overwhelmed? Don't worry, I've got you. Jump on a quick start audit call with me so you can walk away with a clear and personalized plan to move forward with more confidence and ease. Join my community of AI adopters like yourself. Plus, grab my free resources, including the AI Get Started guide, or try my How I AI Companion GPT. It pulls insights from my guest interviews along with global reports so you can stay ahead of the curve. Follow the link in the description below to get started. What happens when a marketer stops chasing trends and starts designing systems that scale themselves? Today's guest, Aziza Azimova, is one of those rare strategic minds who can bridge creativity and operations with precision. She's the founder of AZE Media, a growth marketing consultancy helping high-growth brands scale through AI-enhanced systems, performance marketing, and smart automation. She's also the force behind some of the most innovative campaigns in luxury, healthcare, and direct-to-consumer. And believe it or not, she helps manage one of the world's most famous humanoid robots, Sophia the robot. In this conversation, Aziza shares how she's using AI to streamline her agency, optimize creativity, and design scalable systems that save time and amplify human potential. If you've ever wanted a peek into how top growth marketers and futurists are using AI to scale smarter, this is an episode for you to tune into. All right, let's dive in. Welcome to another episode of How I AI. Today's guest is Miss Aziza. She is one of the most inspiring women in Miami in the tech scene, and I am so honored to have her as my guest. So Aziza, please take it away.
Hi, Brooke. Thank you for such a warm introduction. I'm really honored to be a guest on this podcast. I'm excited to see what we can bring out of each other today.
Yes, I want to hear about everything that you're working on. You, I believe, oversee 3 different brands and have been such a pioneer in the AI space for women here in Miami. How would you describe your title and what it is that you do?
I would describe that I do a little bit of everything, but I would call myself a strategist. Obviously, 3 different brands, 3 different visions, 3 different branding sites. And the thing is, with me, I don't look at it as like, an overwhelm to it. Mm-hmm. It's almost like every brand is a client. But for us, every client is a brand. So we put our heart and soul in every single client. To us, it's just about being able to scale and about being able to deliver the best to everyone. And with AI, it's been so empowering because you're able to do that with just a few really strong team members, and you can deliver if you have the right systems and processes in place already.
You must have some amazing systems and processes in place to be able to do everything that you're doing. Let's first dive into your journey into AI. When did that start? What did that look like?
Yeah, so it started before AI was cool. I think when it first obviously AI has been around for quite some time now. I believe it's been 10 years in the making, but when it first became available to public, and I think the first kind of little skips of AI we got to try was ChatGPT when it first came out, and it sucked back then. I believe what it was like a few years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago. I like to be an early pioneer into technology. I missed the Amazon FBA bandwagon. I made it to the Facebook advertising world where Shopify started to take the rise. And I know that being early adopter in whatever it is that you do is extremely important and taking advantage of that. So to me, I look at it as, yeah, it was not at the place where it is today and it keeps on improving. But I'm glad that I got to experience that because I'm able to grow with it and evolve as technology evolves. And that's important to always stay on top of it.
Absolutely. So how are you staying on top of it? What does your technology stack look like day to day?
Our technology stack is pretty hectic. We have a lot of different tools. We're working on connecting them all. Obviously, basic tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini are daily use cases for our team and myself, and every single team member has a subscription. So that's a must, and we do weekly trainings with the team and share how we use AI and how we're able to make ourselves faster, better, stronger, more efficient. Besides just those basic tools, we're also heavy on tools like design tools like Midjourney and Sora. And we're able to cut our designer hours by 75% with especially the latest Sora developments and Midjourney's capabilities. So we mix in Photoshop with those tools and we're able to create some incredible things. And besides just design, so much custom, because in our agency world, we do a lot of different custom designs for UI, UX, for decks, for branding, positioning, etc. It's a really good inspiration tool because from, I guess, the time of my career, I always imagine it in my head, but I could never draw it out. I can't. I don't have that skill set, but I can describe it. And with the help of AI, I'm able to show what I actually want to create, which has been great. Besides that, we're getting into AI agentic. Relevant AI is something that's in our stack. We're also using some influencer platforms where we're able to generate some incredible videos. I forgot the name of it, but I can share that after. And then we also use AI-powered CRM. We connect all of our tools together into one, and we're able to bring AI agents into CRM. The most basic ones are conversation AI, voice AI. Those are the ones that are already in the CRM. Those are essentially really streamlined for us at this point because we've got process down. How can we install a customer service bot or helper bot on any website, or integrated into WhatsApp, integrated into DMs, integrated into social media, even email. So we're dabbling into that. And I think that's like the most, when you centralize all the tools is when it gets expensive. So that's our stack right now. I'm probably missing a bunch of things, but we have subscription also for decks. We use Gamma a lot. We have a lot of subscriptions.
Which leads me to my next question is, how much do you anticipate you're spending monthly on technology tools?
It depends on a project, but our static stack stays at about 1,000 to 1,500 just for AI enhanced tools. That's between project management, all of the different tools between team members, everything that we use. And again, we're a boutique agency right now. But overall, I see it growing over time. But I would pay 10 times more because it replaces literally 7 people on the team.
Yeah, you already mentioned one KPI about the design and time it saves you. Are there any other analytics you're able to share of the time saved or just efficiency that you've seen since adapting?
I haven't measured my own efficiency, but I could definitely feel like I can accomplish a lot more. We're able to take on a lot more clients and deliver better work. A lot of the times agencies say we're AI enhanced, so we're going to charge you the same and deliver the same type of result, but that doesn't change anything for a client. For us, we're AI enhanced because we can deliver better results faster, more efficiently, but that's backed by processes. I don't have direct, I say, numbers in terms of my efficiency. But what I found is that once we have the process down, and that takes the longest, once the process is down and the tech stack around that process is finalized and shaped, then that alone is 90% cut off time from the first time that we did it. For example, ever deck that we designed or ever created the structure of, took us, I don't know, a month, then the next one will probably take a day. So that's how it's been working for us.
So what does it look like when you create an SOP, or are you having AI watch your screen? How are you setting up these workflows for them to mirror and put in place?
I don't have AI watch my screen because I'm very, I would say, strategically lazy. I don't want to actually do the work. I know what needs to be done. So to me, it's easiest to jot it down as detailed as possible with every single little detail that I can add into a doc. And then from there, create a process and figure out how this process, who does what tech stack needs to be included in each step, and where this needs to be picked up and paid attention to or reviewed. That's when I first do. And then once I figure that out, then I put that in, officialize it, and then we have a meeting about it, and then we adopt it. And I'm just really crazy on adoptions. I'm like, okay, we need to follow the process.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you spoke about a CRM that you have in-house, about all of these agents and tools that you've created. Tell me how you made that. What platform did you use? Did you have someone come help you out with that? Or are you all internal technology and developing?
No, we don't. We're not a technology company. We're an agency. So we use a third-party CRM. However, we completely took over the implementation of it. So we implemented. So what we're really good at is creating systems for every business and creating a unique use case for every single client that we have for that CRM. Some clients need it for surface level stuff. Some clients need it for deep strategy, analyzing, closing more deals. Others need it for just specific funnels, right? So it really depends. And what we do really well is we create a custom CRM strategy. That's what's behind it. It's not so much of the tools, and then we recommend the tools and we stack the tools around the CRM, what's not already available in there. We stack the tools around it that speaks to it seamlessly. Then the client doesn't have to have 10,000 different subscriptions and everything is streamlined. I'm obsessed with efficiency, as you might know.
Yes. I want to talk about Sora. You mentioned Sora and Midjourney, and you said there were some new advancements and releases. Can you speak more to that and maybe share about something that you made with Sora recently?
Our team has been really exploring Sora a lot, but we're able to do a lot of things that would cost a lot of money before, right? For example, custom icons we've been making with Sora, custom designs, creating custom characters, ideating logos, ideating the landing page, how it's going to view UI, UX, completely even creating videos of what the campaign would look like. I think it's the creativity behind it, because even creating specific charts is what I found really incredible for the newest update. And I'm sure like this is going to just keep on improving, because every time we go back in there, there's something new and advanced and improved already. Before, you're not able to dictate to AI exactly what words should be present on a photo. Now we could do that. So we could create a custom funnel, make this color part 1, make this color part 2, part 3 should be this color, should be this shape, this what should stay in every single box of it, and that designs it for you. Now I just did that in less than 5 minutes. In reality, if I was to brief that to a designer and actually wait for them to create and then do through variations of versions, which is usual marketing process, that would probably take us, I don't know, between 3 days to a week till we got to a final version. Which is now can be done in 5 minutes, which is incredible. And even if I did one tweaks, now I have my designer so much more empowered because he already has the idea of what needs to be created. So we're able to get really creative, let's say, and we're able to save a lot of designer works because we know exactly what we want, or the client knows exactly what they want. And we go through the process of client on a call with them and kind of like dictate that.
Thank you for sharing a little bit more about that design side. I would also love to hear about an automation you recently made, or one of your most favored automated tools from start to finish, whether that's an agent or a flow that you rely very heavily on.
It really changes for us. So it really depends. I say that there's workflow automation and there's fully autonomous agents, right? Perform different tasks. which we're not there yet. Because in order for you to create a workflow automation, you have to have a specific process. One of the ones that we're able to do really well at this point is one of the services that we offer, which is cold outreach. And what we do really well is we have multiple AI agents work on different tasks. Agent 1 works on scraping the data on the exact customer that we need. Agent 2 works on enriching that data, right? And then Agent 3 works on putting that information together. Then we go ahead and put them into email campaigns, which is like another platform. We're able to send these emails strategically, land in the inbox. And then there is another agent that would essentially do the appointment setting. And then from then on in research. So prepare everything the person or salesperson would need to, or a client would need to get on a call with that prospect. Essentially, a lot of that custom work has been done by AI and some of the manual processes, and then implemented into strategy and then put into. So that's one of the automations that has been really working well for us because we've perfected the process, so to say.
Right.
But we had to say at first, we didn't have the data enrichment part where we would just create without it. And now we're seeing better results with it. So essentially, we keep on improving processes. And as we see there's a step missing, we implement it into the, I would say, workflow automation.
And you mentioned relevance. Is that where you're using?
Yeah, we're using multiple tools, but relevance is definitely able to connect the dots for us.
How do you like it?
I love it. I mean, it's in early stages of, I think, agentic, and I'm sure there are probably other platforms that we haven't explored yet. It's just matter of time and matter of improvement. And I think AI has just been improving day by day. And a lot of the times people use and give up and then say, wasn't that good anyways.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice, trial and error, and sometimes you gravitate towards different ones than others. I am curious if you could wave a magic wand, because it seems like you're accomplishing a lot already with AI. But what do you feel like isn't in the market yet? If you could create something that isn't out there yet, what would that be?
I already feel like I have a magic wand, right? So with this technology, we kind of all do. We're already in the background working on various marketing tools that are mirroring our processes, especially around search engine optimization. We're building a few tools that aren't on the market yet, that are completely backed by strategy, by experience through my time in the industry, over 13 years in marketing and doing search engine optimization, doing all kinds of different acquisition campaigns, strategies. So that's storytelling on UI UX platform. Like, how do you tell a story on a landing page? How do you sell something? That's one of the agents we're building. And then the other one is around search engine optimization. How do you put out really good content that is optimized for search engines? And search engines are no longer just Google and Bing. They're now YouTube, TikTok, and chatbots across the throughout the tech stack that we're using. That part is important. I think it's not that people write articles, or AI can write articles, but they lack soul. The tool is really focused on getting that thought out of the person who's writing it and that knowledge to really make it good. There is some pillars behind every content piece, and they have to make sense and they have to lead a certain point. So we're building around that. But overall, I say that the magic wand and the tool that I would want that I'm not able to figure out just yet is how do we, instead of focusing on the tools, focus on giving people knowledge to think strategically and to think in systems so that way they can use the tools in the best ability. That's what my passion behind this is. How can I translate the way to think with AI instead of just using it as a tool?
Systems is your middle name.
And it should be. Because you cannot build an AI automation or a workflow if you don't have a system.
Right.
At the end of the day, you have to map out what is it that you want it to do. I think a lot of people focus on the tools and use cases, which is great, and you can save a lot of time. But when it comes to even founders coming in and saying, well, how do I automate this process? I'm like, well, you don't have a system to begin with for this process. Tell me all the steps that you do right now. Well, we don't know. We just kind of do it differently every time. No, when you have and you commit to a system and a platform, and then you can go ahead and automate it. But that's going to take time.
Yeah, that was my next question was, How long does that take? And how does one build out a system? Is it just a matter of writing out step by step and tracking everything that they do in a day? How do you help people build out systems or internally?
I focus on specific deliverables. So, for example, one of the clients we work with, they want to pump out SEO articles and they want to be on Google News, right? So that has to be a system behind it because they want to publish 3 times a week. They want it to be good and they want it to rank and they want it to be optimized for SEO and they want it to be posted and they want it to have a nice image there. All of that, there's a lot of tasks behind it. I'm like, okay, let's take that one initiative and think backwards about it. Yeah. What do we need to do to get this out? We need ideation. So then I would map it out into a system and say, what are the tools that we need to now create this? We need templates. We need existing tools. We need minimal human labor and tasks that we would need to be involved. And we need to include AI into it as much as possible. So then once we build it for a client, now we can use it for other clients as well. And then we can turn it into a tool. So that's the beauty of systems for me, especially.
Have you put any tools into the marketplace that you've wrapped or put APIs or have been selling to clients?
That's what we're working on right now. Okay. So we have internal agents that do well with certain tasks, like writing out landing page copy exactly how I would do it, and then writing out contracts how I would do it, or writing out proposals the way that I want them. So once they are trained, we're still using them internally to perfect them and giving it to team members and seeing if they can actually do it and watching them. So right now it's, would say, in testing mode internally. And once we have it ready, we'll wrap it and we'll put it out on the market.
That's exciting.
Yeah, super exciting.
I am excited to dive into the robotics space. I haven't yet had a chance to speak to anyone in this realm. I can be completely honest, I know nothing about robotics. It's the one facet of AI I haven't really piqued an interest in, but what you're doing in the space is super incredible. You just had an amazing event here in Miami and had a bit of a robotic celebrity in attendance. So I would love for you to speak about all the work that you're doing with Sophia. And then I'll add some follow-up questions into that because I want to get into robotics now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So another agency of ours provides Sophia experiences, and mainly we use it for experiential marketing campaigns, appearances, experiential marketing, and then helping people tell their stories. What's incredible about it is that right now, robots get a lot of attention. That's what makes it unique, and that attention is the new currency, right?
Yeah.
Right now, we're top dollar for this type of attention. In terms of, there's so many use cases how robots can be used in our marketing world, right? Mm-hmm. For experiential and for telling stories, because they do get a lot of attention. But as we evolve, I think in the next year or two, maybe even sooner, we're going to see robots on day-to-day life, like robots that wash the dishes, robots that do the laundry, and that's not going to be as impressive any longer. But I think right now is the fascination behind robots, and the new era to come is what excites people. We're able to create these experiences using the robots that we have.
And for those of the listeners that don't know who Sophia is, do you want to tell us about her?
Yeah, absolutely. So we work with Sophia. She's the most advanced world's humanoid. She has 60 facial expressions. She's a citizen of Saudi Arabia. She's the first robot with a credit card. She spoke at UN. She's been in an interview with Tony Robbins, Will Smith. She's been on Jimmy Fallon Morning Show. She has about 15 ranges of arm movement. The unique thing about her is the 60 facial expressions. It took them 5 years to develop her skin. She has lifelike rubber skin, which you could put makeup on. You could even give her eyelashes. You can do mascara. You can put lipstick on her lips. She's also connected to all 4 LLMs. So she can be autonomous. She can be completely autonomous. So you can have a conversation with a robot about anything, really. It's just the same way that you talk to ChatGPT or Claude. You could talk to Sophia, but it's almost like having a GPT come to life. That's how I call it.
That's incredible. How does a robot become a citizen?
I guess it was maybe a press or maybe a marketing angle.
Okay.
I guess they had offered it to her as a gift, which is like very hard to become a citizen of Saudi Arabia. Like nobody can get it, but they offered the citizenship to a robot.
So does she pass the online test of not a bot, what square to choose?
I'm not sure. People always ask, does she fly first class? I'm like, you want her to?
What else have you learned about robotics? Where do you see the industry going? I think that it's quietly taking over a lot of mass manufacturing and production companies, just from what I've lightly read about. But is there anything else that's coming through in the next couple of years in the robotics industry?
I think one of the first, kind of like how we think about refrigerators and dishwashing machines, you know how your great grandma was probably so against it. And she's like, I could do it better with hands. What are you guys talking about? This thing sucks. I think that's where we're at with robots, where a lot of people are going to be like, well, this is not going to work. But it is coming to our homes. It's definitely going to be washing your dishes, doing your laundry, and running errands. I do think that we're still, in terms of even working with programming Sophia and programming other robots, we realize there's a lot of human input that needs to be done still. And there needs to be a person behind it for at the stage that we're in right now. So a lot of people say, oh, we're going to lose our jobs and it's going to be completely autonomous. I don't think so. I think there's going to be a lot more jobs that are going to be opening, and then people just have to upskill and learn new things and be able to program or work with programming or understand or at least watch over them. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I also feel like it's just going to be a big shift on what it is that we're doing. We're going to have to pivot into the skills of working with and around AI. Are there any jobs that you've seen opened up that weren't jobs before? Offhand, I can think of consulting and training around AI. Have you seen any in the robotics space or on the brand and marketing and growth spaces about AI and new jobs that are out there and trends you're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the existing skills and jobs are expanding. So as somebody with a technical or computer science background can now be a robot operator or engineer. We actually hire engineers and robot operators for all of our robots.
Wow.
And they come with training guidelines and material, and they just takes a few courses or a course and they can actually become a robot operator. That's one of the exciting parts. And in terms of the marketing space, we're seeing more, I would say more on our end, people who are designers or anyone that's already in existing role that is using AI heavily. And that's a heavy interview question on my end, is like, what tools are you using? How well are you using them? How open are you to trying them? And that's just the efficiency part of that. So I think that on the marketing, we're seeing evolvement of like, we're able to have one person do a job of an entire team at some point in the next year. So that's an incredible part of it, because if you have the vision and if you have an ability to think strategically and you can have an ability to multitask and like do multiple things and just more think than do and let AI do and you be the thinker or the strategist behind it, that's where it works for us the best. That's what I found.
How I AI is brought to you in partnership with the Collective AI, a space designed to accelerate your learning and AI adoption. I joined the Collective and it's completely catapulted my learning, expanded my network, and showed me what's possible with AI. Whether you're just starting out, seeking community, or want done-for-you solutions, the Collective gives you the resources to grow your business with AI. Are there any specific insights that you want to share around branding? One thing I love speaking about is you touched on just how efficient and everybody's going to be able to nail SEO. They're going to be at the top of their game with all of the algorithms and their processes and strategies. What does that then look like when everyone's crushing it? How do you continue to stand out as a brand is one of my favorite questions.
I think as easy as it is today, I don't think everyone's going to be crushing it, because we always have those people, just like when internet became available and we had an opportunity to feature our businesses on social media. How many businesses didn't jump on that bandwagon? And they said, you know what, this is not how we, and then they did later. Now, today, you don't rarely find a business without social account. Before, it was like, no, it's social media is just for kids. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So now it's the same thing. There are people that are going to jumping on a bandwagon. They're going to get ahead and take advantage, early mover advantage. And there are people that are going to be left behind. However, for the ones that are ahead and efficient and able to figure out a way how you can do more with smaller team and better, those are the ones that are going to win. In terms of how do you differentiate yourself as a brand, I think it comes from people. Brand is a personality. Brand is a voice. Brand is what you stand for. Brand is what you believe in. Brand is a movement. AI doesn't move. It doesn't live. It doesn't stand for anything. It's trained. So brand comes from people and people leading the brand and building it and instilling into something in it. So that's, I think, what's going to differentiate is people that are alive, that are able to lead, able to differentiate, live with the soul and lead with the mind and able to relate to other people. Everything else is just the technicalities. Now that you figure that out, you come to somebody like us and you say, you know what, we have a great purpose. We have a great movement. We have a great product. We need search engines and these bots to know about this. And we've got the tools because I can extract good content out of the leaders in an hour and we can structure it, publish it in so many different ways that we can get it out there. It's one thing. It's mind, part one, mind, ideation, and leadership, and then execution and distribution. What we're good at is execution. So we're taking that content out of you, extracting that information, understanding the purpose, and then distributing that in a powerful way. So that's the two main components.
I agree. I feel like I was a little too young for the .com burst that happened. And then I was a little anti Instagram influencer or YouTuber when that first came out. And I said, okay, AI is here. I see it. I recognize it. I've learned my lesson. I'm going to capitalize on this movement. I'm all in on learning and integrating these systems that you share today as well. One thing we haven't touched on, which is just good for listeners to hear, are any challenges you're coming up against AI. Is there anything that has gone awire, or have you had any instances happen that were a bit challenging that you want to share to help listeners who are getting started?
I think one of the main ones, I'm not a technologist, and figuring out how to integrate these systems together to speak to each other isn't always streamlined. That's one of the challenges. But that's why there are need for consultants and people who understand technologies deeply, API connections deeply, and understand how you can make all of these tools work together for your benefit. I think that's challenge one. Two is being able to translate the value of the service delivery that is AI enhanced to clients, because they might not understand how this benefits them. A lot of people think in what is my bottom line today, but they don't think in down 5 years, down a year from now, how much time they'll be saving, how much more money they could be making. And there is another challenge, and I think that's more of a mindset shift and perfectionism. There's a lot of people that think that AI can't do what I do.
Yes.
But that's false. There is AI that could do a lot of things that we do if trained properly. The thing is, we almost like working hard. We almost like typing up a long letter. We almost like overthinking. We almost like writing our own content. And it's great, which we should. But I think there's a line in between. You say, okay, this comes from my head. This is my idea. This is the message I want to send. And this is in my voice. And let AI do the rest at scale. I think a lot of people are still afraid of scale, can't handle the idea, or have an identity crisis of no longer unique if AI can do what I do. But the mindset shift is that I trained this AI to behave this way.
Right.
And it does it because of my brain. And if I didn't exist, this content wouldn't exist. And that's the mindset shift between clients and between people that are out there trying to use the tools. As much as they say I'm excited about the tool or I'm using it, they don't believe that it can do what they do. And I think we have to change our thinking and evolve as human beings, right? So we have to say, okay, this is great. I'm good at this, but I don't need to be doing this for 8 hours a day. I can evolve. I can learn a new skill. I can sit on the beach and enjoy life, or I can just actually control this whole thing. My personal example is that I've always wanted to start a blog and I wanted to share my point of view in article format. I'm not a writer. I don't know how to write articles, but I do know what I want to share, the message I want to get across, and what I want people to take away from that. I work with AI to make that happen now. And it's easy for me because I can sit on a beach chair and have a conversation with AI and get articles out at scale. I can, in 2 hours, get a month worth of content and publish every single day. Yes. But that's the power of it. I don't think AI took over what I do because the point of view, the unique way that it's articulated and the unique message that's behind every single article comes from my brain. And even if anybody else sat down and wanted to say what I needed to say, it wouldn't come out the same way. And that's what makes content unique. That goes back to our SEO work because it's not a generic thing. I didn't say, ChatGPT, write an article about why marketing is important today or how it's changing the dynamic. And it would be a boring article. And that's when I go back to saying garbage in, garbage out. If you're going to talk to AI surface level, you're going to get a surface level response. If you're going to get strategic and surgical with it, then you're going to get that in return. And there's also now memory behind it, right? So yeah, you can train AI, you can train agents, and you can train exactly what you're wanting to get out of them. Now, we almost have to adopt a new skill set of communication, articulation, being human, and sharing life experiences with AI, and having to explain to somebody. It's almost like training a really smart baby to behave the way that you want. It's almost like raising a baby, like an AI baby.
I call it an intern.
Yeah. I imagine having an intern with a really, really high IQ. And it's incredible that we have that access because our grandparents didn't. And I always say that our grandparents, and if you look at the evolution of humanity, we started with having to dig for dirt. We started having to drive tractors. And then we evolved, right? So now we use less physical and more of our brains. And we have to continue to evolve. And I think this technology is what has to force everybody to evolve and think, what is my power? What is my superpower? Because we all have it and we all have a purpose and we all have a message we want to send or a legacy we want to leave behind. Whatever that is, we have to tap into that and let technology do its thing without being afraid of it or feeling like it's going to take over. I'm going on a rant with this, but I think a lot of people have an identity crisis that they so connect themselves to the job or the skill set or the thing they do every day. Even if you take a walk down Manhattan to Fifth Avenue, you will go and they'll say, I'm the best salesperson, or I'm a really great analyst and nobody can replace me. What I do on a day-to-day basis, nobody can replace me. But I think it's an identity thing where they connect themselves to their career or the job and they live with it. Instead, we almost have to focus on our human part of it and our purpose and say, you know what, this can be done by someone else and I get to evolve and do bigger and better.
Oh, you touched on so many beautiful points. I agree so much. I think it's time for the 4-day work week, maybe even 3 days, and to take this opportunity to work less. I think we're, like you mentioned, gifted this beautiful opportunity. And let's not just use it to work twice as hard or twice as much. Yes, you can scale, but still try to work less. I think is my point. And to use this to, like you mentioned, live a life of more purpose, give back to your community, lean into more creative pursuits, be more present with your family and your life and create those core memories. Such a beautiful point. And I agree there is like a little bit of a pushback with AI of, oh, I can tell your email's written by AI, or I can tell this was written by AI. But I think you bring up such a valid point of you forget who's training and telling the AI what to write. whether
Exactly.
or not, and you can tell.
Yeah.
I think it's empowering. And I also think there needs to be a big mindset shift around this as well.
Absolutely. And going back to saying, yes, some people write emails with AI, and the reason why people can tell is because they're surface level, they're generic, they lack the soul and they lack the message. There's a lot of fluff. And the reason why there's fluff when the email comes out is because you put garbage in, you get garbage out. If you give enough context, with this email, I'm trying to express this thought. This is the action I want people to take reading it. This is how I want them to feel. This is what I want them to click. This is what I want them to think. And when you go deep like that with your prompting and really getting to the bottom of why you're sending that email, it will take you an extra minute or two to prompt it that way, but the result, completely different. And I always, even the way that it formats, it's not always ideal. I'm like, nobody formats an email like that. Nobody talks in bullet points. Can we have conversational, straight to the point? Don't use any fluff language. Don't use any extra words that we don't need to use. That's the way I prefer to send my emails. So I prompted exactly that. But everybody has their own style. I think having that expert on the team that does this or did this for a living or has actual experience in the industry doing this is the one that should be prompting it, right?
Yeah.
Or you need a system or an existing tool that guides you through the prompting process, and then you can get really good stuff out.
I am also very efficient when it comes to texting and emailing. I'm very to the point. What's the point of fluff when we're all just being very efficient now?
Yeah.
And getting more of our core message and goals to the forefront.
And attention span, so little. And like the fact that somebody opens my email and they have to read a GPT generated email, which they can tell because why? It doesn't have context. Oh, we're proud to announce that now finally with this time passed. And I'm like, okay, I already read 3 sentences and you haven't told me anything. Do you know what I mean? There's just a lot of that extra words. And like, I think there's art and science in everything that's marketing related. The way you write an email, the way you write a social post, the way that you send your message, the way that you display your offer on the landing page, the way you guide the person through the decision-making journey. Every single thing, it has to be a marketing brain behind it, right? And if you're seeing somebody that doesn't maybe have their experience or background in it, they're doing it their own way or they're just doing it in a generic way, which doesn't land. Yes. But the whole point is to land. So we land in an inbox, I land with my message, and the second I get your attention, even for 2 seconds, I want to keep it for as long as I can. That's my goal. That's always the goal for marketing, is to make sales easy. And I think that's what my passion behind it is. Sure, there's a lot of agencies. Sure, there's a lot of people that can do marketing. Sure, there's a lot of coordinators or people that maybe don't have background the way that I have with a ChatGPT, and they think they can run an entire company doing it. But there is a difference. And that's what's, back to your original question, what's going to differentiate the brands? That anybody can start a company with a GPT now, but they're all going to be generic and they're going to fail quickly unless you can figure out a way to stand out, differentiate, and really land for people. AI doesn't live. We do. So we have to show how people live and explain how people think and explain what lands. Yes. And AI doesn't know the culture. We experience emotion, we experience life, we know it. It only knows what we give it.
Beautiful. Yes, leaning into storytelling and emotion. I can only imagine the type of GPTs and agents that you have. You must have the best hook writing. And I want to see what the Aziza avatar looks like and how efficient she is and how well she speaks and writes emails.
There is a formula behind everything, from writing powerful headlines to writing efficient YouTube descriptions to even generating headlines for YouTube videos. All of these could be different agents. An agent that generates YouTube headlines that go viral. An agent that generates YouTube scripts that go viral. An agent that generates YouTube description. If I'm like, okay, yeah, we could start a YouTube channel. There's something on my list too. Like, okay, these are the descriptions. It's going to be the same. This is the information that needs to be included in it. It's going to be optimized for SEO. It's going to have strategic placement of keywords. It's going to have strategic everything in it, links in it, everything. It's not just for anything. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to make sure that it's like optimized as best as possible.
So that leads me to my final question. We touched on so much already, but if there's anything that you really want to give as your overarching key takeaway for listeners today, maybe those who are new to AI or getting into the brand marketing space and starting to leverage these tools for the first time.
One takeaway is AI is not about tools. It's about systems and your thinking process.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the main takeaway if somebody's just starting is having a conversation with AI to start with, and start the conversation as a brainstorming session. That's my, I would say, pro tip. If you're looking to do a campaign or if you're looking to launch a brand, start with the problem, start with your thoughts instead of saying, can you write me a campaign or a brand for this specific purpose for this? No, you have to give it the context. So can you tell me about a single moms that what would be their biggest problems? What are they struggling with? Can you tell me what products they'd be interested in? And let AI come to the idea with your guidance, and then maybe you'll change your mind by the time. But it's going to have so much context that the output is going to be so much different than you just giving it, do this type of task. And the second part, the second pro tip, is creating the system before you go and use the tool. And always experience with tools. If you can just play around with it, great. But when it comes to actual output and you want actual output with AI, you want the system. And then you say, okay, this is, for example, the way that we prompt icons for all of our clients for every site. Because icons used to have to buy like these templates or custom design and all of these things. And I'm talking like deep marketing talk. But now we've created a generic custom master prompt for generating an icon the way that our agency does. And it's now can be customized for any brand. So now it's like, okay, we can generate these really simple, and now becomes an SOP. Now we just collecting these in the back, and now any team member can come in and say, here's your database of SOPs. Here's how you can do all of these different things. And one team member can do so many things because it's already pre-prompted for them.
Do you do a lot of market research? I've been wanting to do a lot more research, and there's so much information out there. Are there any reports that you're really into?
You're talking about like market research with AI tools or
with trends, and say you're assigned a new brand or industry, how would you really get in the mind of that core customer? How do you do that research? Do you collect data points or reporting and tools?
Yeah, absolutely. There's different strategies. If that was part of the scope, we would have to draw out in terms of like, okay, we're going to interview people, or we're going to go collect it, or we're going to buy the data, or we're going to go talk to people on the phone for 3 days or a week, and we're going to book our calendar with some kind of incentive and have conversations, record it, analyze it, and have our own data point. I think that would be the most powerful way. Is nothing beats talking to your customer, because you can buy all the data in the world and still make a bad decision.
Thank you so much for everything that you've shared. We packed in so much in here today. I learned a lot. I think my listeners learned a lot. And I already know how to title this episode. It's going to be Systems Queen.
That's hilarious. You should create a GPT for the titles of the podcast.
I should do that. I should. I'm getting a little bit better at SEO as it comes to podcasting, because it's a fairly new industry to me. I know that you've been podcasting a little bit yourself, so it's a whole new ballgame.
It's a whole ballgame, even with editing process, the questionnaire process. All the processes can be so automated now, right? Like with what you do, because it's very repetitive, right? It's like the first thing you must do is like figure out the interview questions, right? Then you have to cut up the thing, and then you have to figure out what are the best moments that you're going to cut up. Then you're going to title it. Then you're going to publish it on YouTube. Then you're going to optimize this YouTube for SEO. And then you can also publish it on a blog. And then you can have it as an article, right? And then you can optimize that article to pop up on the internet. And then you can also create little TikToks around it, which is also going to give you more SEO boost. And then you can also title those with the proper keywords and pack those up. And that's like a whole different distribution channel.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I'm just...
No, you just gave me an amazing flow. And I'm going to do some homework tonight of setting up some new systems and processes in place.
Yeah, because if you like just map out everything that you do before the podcast, during and after, and that's like a 3-step system: prior, during, after. That's how I would look at it. And then from then on, you optimize the system every time, right? So I'm going to send the question, and then you can be like, okay, where can I take myself out of the process? Obviously, you should be sitting in this chair. So the right now, this is the key. And then when it comes to post-production, that could be completely automated or completely delegated.
Incredible. Aziza, how can listeners find you? Where can they reach you and learn more about all the amazing work you're up to?
I'm on pretty much almost every platform: Instagram, LinkedIn, email. The best way to reach me is probably my email, and it's me@azizaazimova.com. And for any inquiries, agency inquiries, as well as any consulting inquiries, we're here to help.
Are you taking on new clients?
Yeah, absolutely. We're taking on new clients that we're working with. Series A, Series B startups, or startups that are just raising capital to pretty much get their systems going for the marketing engine.
Great. All right. Thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Wow. I hope today's episode opened your mind to what's possible with AI. Do you have a cool use case on how you're using AI and want to share it? DM me. I'd love to hear more and feature you on my next podcast. Until next time, here's to working smarter, not harder. See you on the next episode of How I AI. This episode was made possible in partnership with the Collective AI, a community designed to help entrepreneurs, creators, and professionals seamlessly integrate AI into their workflows. One of the biggest game changers in my own AI journey was joining this space. It's where I learned, connected, and truly enhanced my understanding of what's possible with AI. And the best part, they offer multiple membership levels to meet you where you are. Whether you want to DIY your AI learning or work with a personalized AI consultant for your business, the Collective has you covered. Learn more and sign up using my exclusive link in the show notes.